get it going. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. It is 10 p.m. Thursday evening, and we are here live on Studio A. Yeah, you've waited all week for the most cutting-edge topics and guests, and now it is time to deliver. That's right, it's the Stephen D. Kelly Show with your host, Stephen D. Kelly.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. Wow, that music seems like it cut off kind of quick there. Interesting. All right. Welcome to the show. This is the Stephen D. Kelly Show. My name is Stephen D. Kelly. It is Sunday evening, 7:01 p.m. here on the West Coast of the United States. This is Revolution Radio, www.freedomslips.com. And, of course, we are the world's largest listener-supported radio station, internet radio station, truth radio station. Gosh, there's so much I could say, but believe it or not, people, we really are much, much bigger than even we know. And the powers that be out there, the dark side, they're paying a lot of attention to what we're doing here, and they really do pay a lot of attention to our reach. And even though we're not making any money, and we do depend on you, and we're not pushing commercials and stuff, what is it that they want? You know, do they want to try to make money off of you, our listener? Well, maybe they want a piece of us so that they could try to do that. But I think what they really want to do is they want to put words in our mouths. They want to hijack the truth industry, the truth media, which is what we really are. People say we're all the alternative media, but what we really are is we're the truth media. I think that's certainly a better alternative than what the opposite is, of course, which is not the truth. Propaganda, of course, mainstream propaganda. Anyway, again, welcome to the show. The title of the show tonight is called Death and Taxes. And I have to tell you that I originally, well, you know, I'm always very fluid with these things, but I originally wanted to try to get Natalia and Zach on here from Nova Russia and get them to talk a little bit about what's going on over there, because I know they're getting shelled. And of course, I don't want people to forget about their situation. Obviously, we focus on Syria quite a bit. But that didn't work out. Natalia had something to do. You know, it's 5:30 a.m. in the morning for them. It's just really hard to get anybody to do anything. So again, unfortunately, curse of the time slot. It's not the greatest time slot in the world I have here, but I'm still thankful that you guys have chose to be here. So we make with what we have, but unfortunately, it's not really conducive to me having guests for some reason. It seems to get in the way of my being able to get the people to come on the show. Anyway, I was also thinking about doing a show on chemtrails. I had done an interview with someone else during this week previously who's very involved in that, of course, but that didn't work out for whatever reason. And I think, again, I got to go with the flow. But I did have this concept for this show that came to me. Of course, death and taxes, I thought, okay, that's just a little cliche or a little metaphor, but this is what I wanted to use. And the reason for that, of course, is that we've had quite an onslaught of high-profile death here recently. Celebrity death, David Bowie. I'm still I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say in shock, but affected. I'm still heavily affected by that. And I want to talk about this whole concept of death, and I want to talk about some of the physical aspects of these particular events that have been going on with so many of these people that we recognize going. And I'm not going to suggest that this is exorbitant numbers of celebrity deaths because this sort of thing happens. People die. It's just it's an age group, but is it? So we're gonna question that. We're gonna look at some of the broad pictures, and I also want to talk about the actual art of death and the not the physical art of death, but the transition, some of the aspects of the transition and what's actually involved from my own, I'm not going to say experience, but from what I've learned. And I think we'll have Keith help me out with that in a little bit. When he's standing by, he's going to shed some insight into those areas. I would appreciate it. And also, of course, I'm going to give out the number right now. If you'd like to get involved in this show by calling in, you're certainly welcome to. I can always cut you off if I need to say something. But the number, you go ahead and write this down now for me, please. The number to call in is 928-202-4608. Okay. That was 928-202-4608. And I'm pretty confident this number is working perfectly, but we'll just get you guys, someone will have to call in and prove it. Anyway, also again, before I get too deep into this, I want to also remind everybody again that obviously our truth media, our alternative media, our Revolution Radio, which you're listening to right now, again, is listener support. So we do need your donations to keep doing what we're doing, to keep these hosts and airtime and paid for and servers and all that good stuff. So go to the homepage over there at www.freedomslips.com. On the left side of the page, there will be the blue button that says donate, and hit that, and then you'll be able to find all the information you need to use your PayPal, your credit card, or send a check or whatever it is that you want to do to help out. Okay? And of course, Stephen Kelly Show is 100% listener supported also. So if you want to help me out, that's always fun. And I'll say it again. I said the last show. It's always nice if after the show I go look at my PayPal and somebody sends me something, something shows up. It's like 10 or 20 bucks shows up by the end of the show. I'm like, wow, it's like I'm happy. It tells me somebody's listening and somebody liked what I did. Anyway, again, it's not something we like to do, but it's just something that we have to do just because it's either that or I have to do what all these other people do, like sell snake oil or charge you to listen to the program or some silly thing like that. And obviously, anyway, so help me out if you can. All right. Oh, and of course, my PayPal is Stephen Kelly, StevenKelley 714. That's 714 at gmail.com. Stephen Kelly 714 at gmail.com. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay. Get back into this. Now, again, it's obviously David Bowie was a big deal, and since then there's been a couple of other very big, high-profile people. Obviously, Alan Rickman, and then of course Dennis Haggerty, the TV guy from way back, and then of course Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. Bob Denver here just died, and it seems like it's more and more. There's been quite a few. I didn't really want to make a list. And, and another person that I want to mention also that nobody talks about is Natalie Cole. Okay, and right before David Bowie, Natalie Cole died. And that's obviously a big deal, too, for anybody that grew up in that era. What about Keith is telling me something about Alan Rickman? What, Alan Rickman? Yes, I did say Alan Rickman. Keith, you're not listening. Maybe I just did pronounce his name right or something. I don't know. Hans Gruber died. Yes, Hans Gruber. But now you see a couple of things that kind of struck me about these events, these people dying, and you think, first of all, we're being told that a lot of these people, they're dying from cancer. And this bothers me, of course, right away, because I do not believe in cancer. I do not believe that anybody should be dying of cancer. All of these things are preventable and curable. And we know now with cannabis oil that it's almost 100% treatable. And if anything, we also know that the conventional methods of treatment are toxic, to say the least, and very often fatal. Now, that's a problem. And if anything, this tells me that we have to really look at these things and we have to get a little vocal. We need to get a little bit angry about this. And even though I want to get into the metaphysical aspects about this, at the same time, on a physical level, I'm a little bit angry. I'm angry that we're losing people to cancer. I'm angry that we're having the cures kept from us. I'm angry that we are being poisoned by the chemtrails and by the GMOs and by the vaccinations and by the electronic emissions from the various devices and signals that are saturating our bodies on a daily basis. And then again, not the least of which is a problem, of course, is Fukushima, which nobody mentions, and yet our food is being wiped out every day. We're getting wiped out every day, and we should be all dropping like flies. And of course, it's not just California. Obviously, California is getting irradiated very heavily, and everybody that touches the Pacific is certainly getting it. But the air that we breathe and the clouds and the rain and the water, it does travel. It's not going to stay in one place. So, a lot of these high-profile deaths we've had recently have certainly they've come from the UK, but I'm not going to suggest that these people are not also subject to the same sort of problems that everybody's going to be subjected to because of the Fukushima and everything else. So that's a problem, and I think we need to really be upset about that. And again, this brings me back to this whole concept of running for president and all that. And when I get angry, it makes me go back to that, because that was the whole reason for doing that in the first place, was to provide some sort of a not just a vent for myself, but a positive response. Because obviously, if I say that I'm going to fix Fukushima, or I say that I'm going to end world hunger, or provide free power and communications for everybody in the world, and increase everybody's wealth by 9,000%, I really mean it, and I really believe it can be done. And it's not just pie-in-the-sky idiocracy that's being spewed to sound good. It's true. And the thing is, though, is that these things are so dramatic and so important that it's mind-boggling that humans in general wouldn't just completely latch on to the promise of such a thing. And anything less than that, I think, is a compromise. And again, I'm not going to dwell on this too much because I want to get into other areas. But you got guys like Trump running around saying "Make America Great Again," and Bernie Sanders and what have you, and these nonsense things that they promise. They're just so incredibly limited. and I think that if they're not doing this, if they're not promising free energy, if they're not promising to fix Fukushima and stop the chemtrails and stop the poisoning of our food and everything else, and to fundamentally fix the inequality and the lack of value of our currency and return all the stolen equity, we're being forced to basically tolerate more war and more Khazarian mafia domination. And that's got to stop. All right. Anyway, let me get into the death thing. I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole death thing a little bit. First of all, obviously, the fact I think that there's no such thing as a death that comes as an accident. There's no such thing as an accidental death. Everybody goes at their designated moment. It's all predestined. And if that's true, then if there are environmental issues and human created issues that are causing premature death, or not even premature death, but the inevitable predetermined death of so many prominent people, it surely is affecting everyone else at the same time. And I know that we're seeing so much increase in thyroid cancers and whatnot, and I think that we're really going to see a incredible increase in the amount of cancer, kind of like we're seeing the incredible increase in the amount of autism and other issues as a result of the vaccines. Now, as I know from the death thing, and of course, Keith, here, this is where you're gonna get involved, but some time ago, back in about, I think it was 1977, I had a Vietnamese buddy who I was working with, and this was, of course, when these people were coming off the boat and fleeing the war over there. And he was involved in Spiritism, which, a lot of people might say that's a dark business or whatever. But the thing is when countries like this, especially third world countries, are involved in massive wars like that, where there's massive amounts of death, very often the population resorts to this type of practice because it gives them the ability to communicate with their lost loved ones and things like this. And anyway, I had a buddy who, I had this guy. He basically did a Ouija type board situation that they do. It's not exactly an Ouija board, but it's something similar that they do over there in Vietnam. And he did my fortune, told me a bunch of things, and of course, obviously, most of the stuff has come to pass. And I wasn't really supposed to talk about it at all, but I had another buddy who was about 26 years old. He was a little bit older than me. Maybe he was 24. I can't remember. A couple of years older than me. Anyway, he was supposed to die. All right, and my buddy had the guy that did the test. He said, well, one of your friends is going to die, and I had kind of forgot about it. And then one day he says, hey, has one of your friends die yet? I'm like, no. What are you talking about? And then like the next day or something like that, this guy dies, and he had an aneurysm. Okay, so. When you're 20-something years old, that's not the sort of thing you expect to happen. You're in bed, you just kind of sit up and you're dead, Pop, you're dead. But, so that was very traumatic. And of course, he had a woman that he lived with, a young lady, of course, and she was very upset. And I talked to my friend. I said, wow, yeah, you're right, that my friend died. And he says, oh, well, And I kind of thought maybe I had cursed him because I had told him about this seance thing or whatever it was, and anyway, he died. But he went back. The guy went back and he did another reading, and this time he went and hooked up and he was talking to my buddy, and allegedly it could have been a demon impersonating my buddy, whatever. But of course, I wanted to know what it was like, what happened. If he could explain. The process of when he died and what he went through and what that was like. And bear in mind, of course, this was back in 1977. This was long before I had any kind of concept of metaphysics or anything like this. But I'll just try to paraphrase and relate to you what I was told. And then I'll tell you what I think this means. And then we will probably talk to Keith a little bit. But basically, if I recall, he said that when he had the aneurysm, of course, this is my buddy talking to me through this other person, that he didn't really know what was going on, but he saw the whole thing happening, and he said it was very quick, and he said basically it's very dark, and for the first few days, or what we would perceive as 3 Earth days, he said that he was being flooded with information, like what we would consider the Akashic records, basically. So in other words, everything that was to be known within this last 20,000 years, whatever it is, our epoch that we're in right now. all this information was suddenly made available, and he had to absorb all this. And apparently it took about this long, the equivalent of what we would consider 3 Earth days, for him to do this. Now, what that is relative to in over there, who knows how long that could be. But he didn't talk about Christ or anything like that for whatever reason. I don't know if I don't remember if I asked it about that, but he did say the one thing that I thought was interesting was this 3-day thing. And to me, that seems sort of connected to this, like, and they talk, the Easter, the story of Easter. Of course, Christ was rose after 3 days. So apparently there is something to this 3-day thing. The other thing he said was that we should burn candles, and that they like to have candles for the first year. And that was interesting because this is what the Hebrews do. The Jews practice this when there's a death in the family or something. They'll burn a candle for a whole year. And they say that the purpose of that is because they hang out, they visit a lot during the first year, and that the candlelight helps them to see, because apparently the electric light doesn't really work very, very well. And let's see, what else do you say? The other thing that's really important, of course, when somebody dies, is that you do have to let them go. They will come and go and visit and what have you, and they will be very close to you, because there really is there's no space. It's really right there. But what's really important, of course, is that you have to get over the pain. When somebody close to you die, you really have to let go of them. You can't sit there and cry over them constantly, because that kind of anguish will really bother the person that you're being upset over, and that can actually interfere with their ability to move on and transition. And of course, some people transition quicker than others. Some people, when they die, that's it. Some people they take on a new life relatively quick. Sometimes it's quite a while before they come back and do it again. And if you have some sort of a biblical idea that can't happen, well, I think from a standpoint of the mysteries of the universe, I think that there's probably a lot of things that we would struggle to comprehend that are actually taking place. Anyway, all right, well, I'm going to try not to take advantage of Keith here, but I did, last week, I think it was, I can't remember, was it, or one of the shows last week, we've been talking about David Bowie, of course, quite a bit, and he came on the show, and I asked him, I said, all right, what's up with David? What's he doing? And he didn't want to say, for whatever reason, but that he was holding back, and I guess now he's ready to share a little bit with us about that. So, what do you think, Keith? Are you ready to do that? Ready to talk about that?
Yeah, I will. And thanks. That was actually a really beautiful setup. I want to say a couple things to ground it a little bit. I've been trained by an extremely powerful and clear psychic for over 30 years. And this is something that some of us have more than others, but all of us have it to some degree. I'll bet you a very large part of the audience is aware there's more here than just the physical through direct experience. Any number of different things can show that to you. I've had dreams of the future and crazy stuff like that that's come true, going back to your reading with that person. Mm-hmm. So, at any rate, I wanted to do that because this will sound a little nuts. I know I hear myself talk and I go, man, I don't, take it for what it's worth. Don't believe me or whatever. I'm not asking you to. I'm just take it in and see what you think. So I was thinking about David Bowie and a lot because he passed. I remember when John Lennon passed, the whole world was shocked. And these kind of people have reverberations with many of us because we, feel an affinity, a resonance. So David Bowie's spirit came to me. I swear to God. Wasn't asking for him. I didn't go into meditation and try to contact him, but he contacted me. And it was a trip because he was really confused. I looked at him and I was like, whoa, and at the time, my head was in a really different place. I was doing some work on some stuff. So I was really into building and soldering and kind of, that kind of thing. I was in a different mode. And when I went on air with Stephen and Terry and Monty on a roundtable, I wasn't ready to really talk about it because I hadn't processed it. And also, I'm a little cautious because I know it sounds kind of, why would David Bowie pick me? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It may be that those of us that can help among these things are fewer than I think. I tend to think there's a lot of people with these kind of skills, these kind of, it's almost like a language, I don't know. So the very next day, I communicated with the psychic who trained me for over 30 years, and not only is this person extremely powerful, but this person is extremely clear. And the biggest lesson I think this person taught me is to be in neutral, not let any of your judgments interfere, because your ego is going to chatter away and you're going to think all these things and imagine all these things. And, you're not going to necessarily stop that, but the quieter you can get it in your mind, and the less ideas you have about what things are supposed to be, and are just open and have trained to use your third eye, which is really where you can look without judgment. That's where you can actually really look at reality. Where you can open that up, you can see it. So I merely said to this person, take a look at David Bowie and tell me what you see. I did not preload it with any information about what I had experienced. And sure enough, this person saw the exact same thing, that the person was lost. And so we sent an angel to help him transition. What had happened was, as we unpacked it, he was dying, died of cancer, and he was under a lot of drugs. And when he transitioned, he was not aware he was dead. He was just kind of in the void between being here on Earth and going to, the next level, where we get our soul review or whatever, and prepare. When we talk about time, in my view, I don't know, Stephen, what you think, but in my view, you're kind of outside time and space as we know it. So 3 days, 3 years, 20, some people have all these different numbers about what it takes before you can reincarnate. I do think some people do reincarnate too quickly sometimes, and other times they pick up on more challenges because we decide what kind of issues we're going to face based on how far we've advanced spiritually. That's my David Bowie story, and he has since transitioned, and he continues to be very available. I've gotten a real sense of who he is and what kind of energy he is, and he's a neat dude. He's a sweet guy. He's obviously a great artist, and so there you go. That's my little David Bowie story.
Well, I would kind of wonder, when I first heard about David Bowie going, and this is going to probably bother a lot of people, but the first thing I thought of is that when they say cancer, it's usually not really cancer per se, but it's might be something related to AIDS, like a cancer-associated or AIDS-related cancer, because there's so many times people that I've known who were gay, who were in the hospital for something and dying, and they'd always say it was cancer, but usually, or something like that. But half the time you'd know they were HIV positive and whatnot. And I guess when you're HIV positive, obviously your immunities are screwed, and you're susceptible to getting all kinds of things like this. So I was kind of curious if that was had anything to do with it. But then again, of course, like I said, there's been so many damn celebrities that have seem to have kicked the bucket here all of a sudden.
Yeah, let me quickly say I did not look to see what exactly he passed on. I just was going by what the news reports were about it being cancer. You could easily be right. Um, there was another group of thought that he was into dark energies and satanic stuff and all that stuff. We did look at that, and the answer is no. He was more of a free spirit. I think a lot of the imagery they've pulled up saying he was into the occult and all this stuff was much more his producers and management, trying to give him, make him interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare for artists to have the longevity he had with his career. And so they're always trying to reinvent you and stuff like that. So that's just my comment about that.
I would say that there of course there is a youthful indiscretions. Obviously he got into this stuff when he was before he was even 20, and it's not that uncommon to dabble in it just because it's sexy and whatever. It comes to the territory, and of course, like you said, the managers and all of the people that have anything to do with the production and the industry at large, we know are all satanic. I got to tell you something. The other day, Terry told me a story about something she went into. This is certainly something that I don't know how she'll feel about it. I guess I can sort of talk about it a little bit, but anyway, she told me about it just because she was freaked out. But I'm going to beat her to the punch if she hasn't told this in public yet. But she went to this gig, and it was some people that were putting together that wanted to get her involved in something to do with cable TV. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, the mainstream media, the satanic mainstream media, is paying very, very close attention to what we're doing right here in our truth media. And they want us. They want to infiltrate us. They want to take us over. They want a piece of us. And they're doing everything they can to put the words in our mouths and control the message that's going out to you. Obviously, this is not a good thing. But then again, I'm not going to go into too many details, but essentially what they do, what she told me, is that she went to this meeting. It turned out that all these people, all these Hollywood movie shaker types, they were like a bunch of reptiles. And it turned out that what they really were was they were all Satanists. And one of the things that they all seem to get off on doing, it's okay, I have permission, all right, is they perform ritual human sacrifice involving abortions. And, oh God, I should probably just get her in here. All right, I got Nighthawk in here. I didn't notice that. I wasn't looking. All right, wait a minute. Nighthawk has an announcement? Okay, wait a second. Are you there, Nighthawk?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
I was getting ready to go take a trip to the bathroom, but tomorrow we will be live again from Burns, Oregon, and the Malheur National Refuge Center. We actually have a reporter on site that we are paying to be there. So, that's the big announcement that I wanted to make.
What time? What time is this?
It'll be on and off. It'll be on and off all day. We have,
Studio A?
Yeah, no, it's going to be on it'll either be Hawk's Nest and our live stream, which is youtube.com/weaponized talk radio.
All right. So you'll have off and on live reports from the scene on Hawks Fest, or say that again, the YouTube, what was that again?
Weaponized talk radio.
Oh boy, weaponized talk radio. Okay, everybody, you got to write that down. Okay, Terry's here too. All right, Hawk, is there anything else you want to say about that? Terry, Keith, bring Terry in.
Basically we're just trying to instead of being there trying to make news, create news, rabble rouse, we're going to be in there reporting news. And we had a donor that helped me do this, and and I'm paying a pretty penny for it, but we got somebody actually in there doing the job. So that's what we're going to do. So keep up with us over there at the YouTube channel.
All right. Thanks a lot. Okay.
All right. Peace out.
All right. Terry is with us. All right. Thanks for this, Terry.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and tell your story as much as you want to tell. I know it was a big deal for you, but it's important because as I remind people all the time, when we talk about all these issues, that eventually we can get to a common denominator, which of course is the dark side, and I guess like what we're talking about right now with this business with David Bowie and these celebrity deaths and the various different occult connections that seem to crop up with a lot of these people. I think your experience from the other night is going to give a perfect insight into exactly just how bad it is. Perhaps.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty surprised on what happened. First of all, it was on a property of somebody who's pretty major in the entertainment business.
Go ahead, name names.
Okay. Should I?
Yes. Screw it. What
all right. It belonged to a guy named Rick Messina who handles talent like Tim Allen and Drew Carey, and of the like. And all of the people, most of the people who were at the party were people that I knew from my past, and that's what freaks me out the most. Some of them are also involved with cannabis activism, and they were also including filmmakers and also folks that have been involved in the Occupy movement as well. And there was it was in a bar that was on the property. It's like a private bar basically, and there was this is kind of how it started. Was they said, oh, anybody can play the jukebox because you could select a song. So I thought I was playing Heart of Glass by Blondie, but I actually had played Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club's Band. And one of the guys turned to me and he said, first they go, oh, good choice. And I'm like, great, I'm glad my accident worked. And then he turned to me and he goes, that song's about Aleister Crowley. And that kind of set me off for a second. And I looked up and there was like there was like a little, the horns. There were horns of a over the jukebox. And, I started having various conversations with people. Some of my friends ended up showing up. And there was some drinking going on. And then I was having just various conversations. And then the abortion conversation came up with a woman. And she said, well, when I had an abortion, I felt my own empowerment because it meant that I could stop a life. And that meant that I was like God. And that drummed up some stuff for myself on a personal level, which I'm really not really wanting to totally go into at the moment. We had a further discussion. Then my other friend, who was the filmmaker, was talking to me, and the one of the guys that I knew from my past, his name is Magic. He kept saying annoying things like, oh, the truth media, this kind of stuff, which I thought was just, as if it was something that was offensive. Now, there was a moment of time where my friend who's the filmmaker looked at me and said, oh, did you feel that? And I go, what? And she goes, don't tell me you didn't notice it. And I say, what? Because it's like everything shifted energy. It was almost like we were like the place had become like as if it was another timeline, or it was like something was different in the sense that it was like you could see clearer. And then I said, okay. And then my friend ended up, who was her birthday, she got really super drunk and almost fell over, and they pulled her into a chair. And then I was talking to the one woman that was telling me about the abortion and everything. And I said, what is going on here? It feels it feels really weird. And she says, well, because this is what's happened when people drink alcohol, then the dark spirits come out, and this is, and so they're here, right? And at this point, I started to I felt really uncomfortable, and I said, I have to go out and get some air right now because I'm not feeling normal. And I went out to the patio area, and there was this huge. I noticed when I walked in, there's a huge lizard. There's a huge statue of a freaking lizard, and my friend who was the was the filmmaker that I was in Occupy with, that I've interviewed several times, went out with me. She goes, I don't know. Her energy was really erratic. She goes, I don't know. She goes, do you want me around you, or do you want me around you? Do you want me to go? Do you want? I'm going to go. And I was so uncomfortable that I said, no, I'd rather have you be here. And I go, what's going on? She goes, well, they're lizards. She goes, look at the statue here. What do you think? Where do you think you're at? And I go, look, I got to go home. And she goes, what? You think you're going home now? What do you think you're going to do at home? And I was just like really tripping for a second. I go, I don't know. I don't feel right here. And I go, I don't want to go back in that room. There's something going on that's odd. And before I went out, and also before I went outside, I went to my friend it was her birthday. She was kind of passed out. She looked at me and she goes, Terry, she goes, I have kinetic energy and I'm a feminine goddess and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what's going on. And so then I wanted to leave, and she goes, no. She goes, my camera's not working, and you have to take these pictures. And you got to take pictures. You got to take pictures of the birthday cake, and you got to do all this stuff because my camera's not working. As if it's my responsibility to do social media of their party, and for me to look like I'm hanging out with them was kind of like what my feeling was. Like, is this the contract? Like, I'm supposed to like expose some stuff here or something? We're at this great party having a great time, and I'm probably not describing it all really super well, but I remember being cold, and I said, I don't want to go back in there. She kept going, no, come over here. And she wanted me to go to this patio area. It wasn't even the part of the building. She goes, come over out into here. And that area, I just had an aversion stepping into. As a matter of fact, I was frightened. And I go, no, I don't want to go there. And she's not the only person that tried to get me out to this one particular area that wasn't even like part of the party. So finally, I sucked it up and I said, all right, I thought, let me just go in. Let me just, like be at the party. I'll take pictures, and I'll take pictures of the cake, et cetera, et cetera. And, it just had, Magic was, the guy's name is Magic, the one that's her boyfriend, we went back there again, and then he's all sitting around looking at some of us at the table, and he'd go, how long have I known you? And how long have I known you? And how long have I known you? And we'd known each other for a really long time. And he goes, so you're different, and I'm different, and there's something different about every single one of us. But we know each other, right? And I'm like, where is this freaking conversation going to? And then he'd say, I'm schizophrenic, and I'm like, okay. I don't know what's, and I look at the other girl lady who's the filmmaker, and I go, what is happening right now? And then she'd go, and she goes, and I go, is he saying that you're schizophrenic too, or what? She goes, are you saying I'm schizophrenic? I go, I don't know what I'm saying. I go, this is just really, really bizarre. And it was like, and there was a cake there, and she goes, we got to eat this cake, and I'm going to eat a bunch of sugar so before I die or something. It was just all strange. And then my friend and then the filmmaker lady kept talking to me about like, well, I want you to do, a project with me, and we could do 12 episodes and blah, 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 blah. And I would be like, okay. And then I said, and she go, freedom of Joyce. She goes, freedom of Joyce, freedom of Joyce is everywhere. What is up with that? And I'm like, I didn't realize it was like everywhere. And then some of the people that are working on a specific initiative in California were saying, we want you to do the show at January because for the American Hemptress, because that's kind of how we started out. See, this manager put that name together, American Hemptress, Rick Messina, and we had a comedy show called American Hemptress, and this other guy, Magic, from my past, that I worked on another project with, I introduced them and they got together and they had a child together. And Magic and I never really got along. All right. So Magic was kind of the factor of this other project never really working out. But see, what got me about Magic is that what happened was I worked on, I did a marijuana float for the Gay Pride Parade years ago, and I asked Magic to be a part of it. And out of that, he ended up wearing a marijuana leaf on his head and he created this entire character called Henry Hemp. I know I'm digressing.
You're digressing. Let's get back to all right. You had someone else there that wanted a get pregnant.
Well, okay, yeah. The filmmaker lady said something really weird to me too at the end of the evening. She goes, "Look, Terry, if you could hook me up with a guy who's an ex-Bilderberger or worked for the Bilderbergers and has the right DNA," she goes, then we have a deal with each other. So I can get knocked up and be with that guy." And I'm thinking, what? Right. So you were saying that's like how they want to do a sacrifice that way, but I thought that was really odd too. That she was sniffing me out to find somebody with the correct DNA for her to have a baby with.
Oh, we get to hang up on you.
No, please! I made a mistake. Nighthawk's even said it on the air on my show before.
Nighthawk, you need to come in here right now and give her crap. All right, you're listening? You can come in here and give her crap. Go ahead. Chew your head off. Oh, God. All right. Anyway, yeah. All right. This is what I suspect. My intuition tells me that this location that you're at is where they go and have their ritual sacrifices, which generally happen in the form of an abortion. And I suspect that this one little area that you did not want to hang out in, perhaps that's where they actually do it. You know, if they have their little whatever, who knows what they do. But I'm sure that location is probably home to all sorts of nasty rituals. And I'm thinking every one of them is a Satanist. So, Keith, what do you think about that little story? What are your impressions?
I'm actually not explaining it well. I did the whole show.
I don't want to hear what
I did the whole show on it last night. If you want to listen to it,
all right.
I was much better last night.
Yeah. Okay, Keith, what do you say? Keith?
Well, I was monitoring chat and not paying sufficient attention. I apologize.
You are.
But no, it's easy to look into. There's a lot of dark energies running around. A lot of these people have varying forms of possession as well, in various degrees, I should say.
That's how it felt to me.
Yeah, if you're doing ritual sacrifices, you're big time got that going on. Because that's how they open portals to bring in more of their dark energy.
Mm. So that's pretty accurate, though. You think that my intuition is pretty right on, that that's what's going on here? They're actually doing the abortions and what have you there at that location?
I get a no on that at that location.
But they are doing that, though, huh?
Yeah, I get a big yes on that.
All right. Yeah, they seem to be definitely infatuated with that whole, you said also the person they wanted to have lots of very energetic and be kind of rebellious.
Yeah, they like the rebellious thing. This is the feeling that I got, was that they were showing themselves to me. My friends were showing me who they really were, or the people that I thought were my friends, right? And that they were at the same time almost like they're envious of us, because the only thing that they think about is their own attention, in a sense, in many aspects. And that that they knew that there was something had changed with the truth media, and specifically my association, and the fact that I worked in their world is kind of threatening to them, and especially in the sense that they are behind cannabis, whatever role they're playing in that, whether it's for good or not. I'm not sure if everybody there who is involved in cannabis at that party has ill intentions about where it's going to go, but I felt that they had no choice but to have to deal with me because of the fact that apparently I have made a certain statement. There are people following and listening, and they're listening to it in the way that they're listening to Revolution Radio. So it's like we can't be ignored anymore. So I had like several offers and negotiations to work on, like, I want to work with you. I want to work with you over here. Can you put up with, do this, blah, blah. So there was like these kind of like deals that were almost kind of being presented to me, but at the same time they were scaring me. And there's another man that kept walking around who I think works on the property, knew who I was. I don't really quite remember him. And I go, it's really weird in here. And I go, something's going on. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, it's weird. He goes, yeah, that's what they do sometimes. Yeah, that's the way it is sometimes. And then we talk some more, and then I go, what is going on? It's really weird in here. And he'd go, yep, that's what they're doing. Yep, sometimes they do it like this. And eventually I got home and I got back to my car, but I was totally disoriented. And I also felt like I was missing glitches, like there was a little bit of time and space missing. Like I parked my car at home, but I got lost in my own neighborhood. And then all of a sudden I realized it was in front of my house. So things were just not right the whole evening.
It's easy to get lost in Encino.
Right. This is true. Even the blocks are really long.
It's like, wait a minute, I should be 2 blocks over that way. It's like, yeah.
You're like, help me. Yeah.
The streets are like that. Anyway.
All
right, well, what was that? All right, we're going to probably be taking a break here. We're reaching the end of the first hour. And again, as you can see, the show is somewhat of we have somewhat of a theme here. But if you'd like to join us again, let's see here. 928-202-4608. That's 928-202-4608. No, Keith, I think these comments from Nighthawk were directed towards me, not you. Silly.
No worries.
Anyway, not enough. It's not enough, Nighthawk. That's what it is. It's not enough. Anyway, all right. Just a reminder that you are listening to the Stephen D. Kelly Show on our Revolution Radio, www.freedomslip.com. Number one listener support radio station. Please help us out. Send us money. Okay? Please. A donation. Lots of donations. Oh, yeah. Save me $20 before the other night. Some angel out there. God. It's terrible. I know. It doesn't take much to make me happy, $20 a day. That's not much. I thought about that. It's like, let me see. Is it worth, let me see, what was that? That comes out to about $140 a week for doing this show. I think that's a bargain, huh? $70 for an hour? Huh? To entertain all these wonderful people? Try to entertain, educate.
$20 an hour or $70 an hour?
No, $20 a day.
$20 a day.
Yeah, that's no big deal, right?
I think that's pretty reasonable.
Pretty
yeah.
reasonable. Well, that throws in all the other stuff that's not just doing the show. That's doing the YouTube or the, everything, right?
Right. There is a lot that goes. Facebook.
Yes. Full-time activist business.
Memes.
Oh, I know what. I'm going to tell you something, you guys. I'm going to make a little announcement here on the air. Now, as you know, I have been bad-mouthing just about everybody in our business, right? As you all know, I've been saying a lot of nasty things about just about everybody I can think of. Because you got to pretty much prove that you're not a tool. But one of them was Scott Bennett, okay, and he's been on Press TV and whatnot. And I had kind of leery about this guy, because he's X this and X that. But I noticed that he had written several messages to me, kind of reaching out to me, and So in light of that, I'm thinking that I would like to give him the opportunity to come on the show. You know, I don't know. I'm sure he's not listening at the moment, but I'm going to send messages out to him and have him on here, so I can learn a little bit more about his story. And you know, and obviously, this is not the purpose of this invitation. Isn't to put him to trap him into some sort of a confrontation. Obviously, that's not the case at all. I definitely want to hear what he has to say, and I'm beginning to think that I may have been premature in my judgment, and I think he may turn out to be a good guy. But you know, take everything with a grain of salt, and just like all these guys, you know, Max and what have you, I'd like to get him on here and give him 2 hours to talk about everything. He's a little long-winded. I saw a thing, he was on Press TV the other day, and he went and talked for like 8 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, dude, it's Press TV, man. You don't do that. It's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but 8 minutes, my God, you know, that's like precious airtime. You don't do that. Anyway, so Scott, if you're listening, or if anybody else has connections to Scott, we'd like to get you on the show and get your influence or your perspective on a lot of things. I don't particularly agree with some of his projections and estimations of some of the military things that he talks about. But there's our break. Okay, listen, you guys, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Everybody, please mute, and we'll be back with Stephen D. Kelly Show real quick.
And now we return you to your host.
Who were we talking to the other day that says that they got started with that silly da-da-da-da-da-da? Was Keith, do you remember? Another one of the hosts? Keith. Are you there, Keith? Keith, are you on mute? Okay. Wow. Terry, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Keith must be getting himself a beverage or something. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay. Everybody, welcome back to the show. This is the Stephen D. Kelly Show on Revolution Radio, www.freedomslips.com. And again, we are the #1 listener-supported radio station. Please help us out. Okay, tonight's topic, of course, is called Death and Taxes. And, you know, I just to paraphrase why I chose that metaphor and all that, obviously it's because we've been having a lot of celebrities dying. And, you know, you talk about death and taxes, they say, well, those are the only two things in the world that you got to do. Well, personally, that's not true. You don't have to pay taxes. And as far as dying is concerned, the primary issue I want to cover at the beginning of the show, of course, is that this premature dying, or this perceiving that increase in the amount of deaths may be subject to or being caused by the pollution and the radiation and all these wonderful things that we're having ourselves exposed to. And ultimately, the purpose of bringing that up, of course, is because, again, I want to reinforce upon people that make me president and I will fix the entire world. It sounds so damn ridiculous, but I swear it's like sometimes, you know, I know a lot of people have these grandiose ego issues and whatnot. They think that they can do better than this guy or that guy, but I really know how to do this damn thing, and it really pisses me off. And of course, you know, if you have to die to get it done, then so be it. But ultimately, that's going to be the message: is that I want to fix this damn stuff, and it can be done. So. I want to wage war on these things. You know, it's almost like it pisses me off. If I want to blame the dark side for Fukushima and all these things and GMOs and what have you that's caused me to be deprived of David Bowie, then that right there pisses me off. And that's enough reason right there for me to go to war. And if I tell people that if you support me, that your wealth will increase 9,000%, doesn't that sound sort of good? Or that you'll have free energy or free communication or free pharmaceuticals or, you know, no more GMOs and all these wonderful things that need to be done. yeah, it can all happen, and it's all going to happen, and it will happen, and the only way it's going to happen is if we do this, because Donald Trump isn't going to do it, Bernie Sanders isn't going to do it. I don't know anyone else who will do it. They certainly aren't going to do it for free. So it's all about profit. Keith, are you back yet?
Yes, sir.
I can't even remember what it was I wanted to say to you. Oh, yeah, that's right. Who was it that we were on the show with the other night? He was saying how he got into the habit of doing the at the end of at the beginning with the startup of the break. Kind of like
I think it's Monty Dean.
Monty Dean, is that it? Okay.
I think it was right. Monty Dean.
Yeah, it was Monty Dean. Yeah. I just thought that was hilarious that another host was hearing us do that. It's like picked up the habit. It's ridiculous, huh? I think we can count on one hand the number of people that do that, though, huh?
It's fun, though.
Hyro does it well.
It's catching on.
It's catching on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Every host now is going to be doing that.
I learned it on guitar.
Did you?
Oh.
You're going to. Yeah, we're going to.
Way to go.
All right. All right. Once again, though, I would like to offer this opportunity for anybody to come in and join us right now if they would like to share with us some perspective on death or any of this thing or whatever. Okay. Olive, if you want to come in here and talk about Gnosticism, go for it. Anyway, the phone number, once again, is 928-202-4608. Okay. So if you want to say hello to myself or Keith or Terry, now's your chance. Anything going on in chat? Any last few shows we've done, it seems like whenever I go on someone else's show, there's always everybody in chat wants to ask me questions, and I want to hear it as my show. What's going on? Is anybody talking smack or what? What's up? I know you guys both monitor chat, so what's going on?
Nothing relative to what you're talking about. Hawk's talking a bit about his coverage of Oregon and going to be on Hawk's Nest tomorrow, and he gave the YouTube channel out again as well.
That's it. Guns. I'll tell you. I've been kind of dreaming a lot about guns lately. It's really bad. What's up with that? I'm having with AR-15 withdrawals, I think. Something like that. I think I need to go shooting. Somebody had made a suggestion to me. It was Simply Red, I guess. Hello, if you're out there, Simply Red. And she suggested that perhaps as a way for me to make a few bucks, that I ought to teach shooting again. Go out and teach, offer some instruction to people that want to learn to become good shots. And I thought, well, if I was going to do something like that, I'd have to kind of do it incognito. I can't really, I wouldn't tarnish my reputation. But she says, oh, well, you just do it under a different name and all that. But I thought, wait a minute. The whole reason why anybody would even want to pay me to teach them is because of who I am. It's like, right? That's your credentials and your experience is what people are paying for in something like that. If you're just some arbitrary guy that says, yeah, I'm an expert, you're going to pay me $50 an hour to tell you what to do. That's almost like I saw this thing on TV the other day. It's so crazy, but they have this, they have a new course. It's a career course, and it's on personal fitness advisor, something of this nature, like I don't know what they call these guys, the person who is supposed to teach you how to get in shape and become your fitness advisor. And this was a course that was offered over the internet or something like that. It was a mail order course. And I'm thinking, okay, you're going to take a mail order course, and that's going to make you an expert on physical fitness, so you could go out and charge somebody to do that. And I'm thinking, what if you're like, 500 pounds immobile and you take this course sitting in front of your computer? How the hell does that make you qualified to teach somebody how to build their body and all that sort of thing? Just absolutely crazy. So anyway, Okay, guys. Have I inspired anything? No.
Well, you talked about death, and you talked about the celebrity of David Bowie's death, but what about the taxes part?
Taxes part. Well, okay. The taxes part, of course, that was the metaphor, and as I mentioned, a few minutes ago, I think it was at the beginning of the second half of the show, that the death thing, of course, was related to the celebrity passings, but the taxes, of course, other than that being just part of a fun little saying, which kind of serves as a metaphor. The reality is that unlike the suggestion, the saying that you can't avoid it, it's going to get you no matter what you do. I don't believe that, and I believe, and I kind of want to make this, that's sort of the theme of the show, even though we're talking about it and trying to demystify it and take the fear away. At the same time, I want people to get angry, and I want people to rise up, and I want people to fight back. So it's like the death thing. Yes, we're all upset about these people dying, but we should be pissed off all to hell that anybody is dying of cancer. What the hell is up with that crap?
Yeah, I've been talking about that too.
That
I just find it
pisses me
odd.
off. There is no reason for anybody in this day and age to be dying of cancer, especially celebrities that have the money and the wherewithal to get a hold of the damn cannabis oil. So that right there, there's something very, very wrong with that. The very fact that we are getting killed off by the slow kill of the various different methods, not the least of which, of course, is Fukushima. You see, this is the thing. To get angry about these issues and to talk about this death and even to acknowledge that it's happened at all ultimately brings me back to this campaign, which is my main effort at this fight. And it's like, I want to fight death. I want to fight the cancer. I want to fight the taxes. I want to abolish the IRS. I want to give everybody all the money that's been stolen from us. I want to stop the poisoning. I want to extend our lives. I want to give everybody the health and benefits that we should be having, and basically completely change this world. And ultimately, as I say so often, this is not a fight against flesh and blood. This is fight against Satan. I very, very, very much believe that. And ultimately, I don't care what the subject is, the common denominator is always going to go back to that. And this is why I wanted to bring your story into the subject, because I felt
last
that
night,
important.
2 nights ago, really confirmed that for me. I was like, there is really something satanic going on.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
God,
and
right in front of your face.
Right. And then a lot of what I was experiencing, it really brought me back to things that you wrote in your book, or a lot of the things that you've been saying. I went, it verified everything for me. And, actually, I'm just starting to feel okay again from it. I've been spooked and freaked out for like 2 days, basically. Energetically, it was exhausting. And to face it, to realize that's what it is. It's not like the way I feel I'm going to deal with this. Like, I'm not afraid of you. Like, I know who you are. Your little tricks or your power or wherever you think you're at is so what? So cry me a river. I mean, like, you want to show me a little magic or something right now because you're not impressing me is how I want to feel about it. So what? The bottom line is that these people are around. It is connected to our entertainment industry. It's connected to everything. There's that underlying underbelly of darkness going on, and they obviously, my opinion is if they're snooping up me, being that I'm in the truth media, walked away from them, making nothing. If they need me, means that they must not be doing all that great, right? If they didn't realize that there was something really happening here, that what we're doing on these networks, the things that you're saying and all the other hosts are saying, and everybody contributing to there is some truth getting out there. And all they care about, see, social media rules, internet rules. They're the ability for the old way, the mainstream papers to hold on to people's opinions or create cultural thought, the way we vote, the way we think, the way we live, what's right, what's normal, what should be acceptable or not acceptable is dictated through us, right? But again, we over here are going, wait a second, that's not the real dialogue. That's not the real story. And so we run with what we think is truth or what we know to be true, interviewing and collecting data and bringing it out to the forefront for people. Now, even we're infiltrated. I mean, let's not be naive here. But obviously, there's something happening that's substantial that's causing a shift, that they're realizing that the people are paying attention to us. And then they go, oh, my God. And especially if you've already been over on their side, of course, they're realizing on some things they do want you to step into their arena and help this other particular agenda that you might be talking about. And where I'm at right now is I'm thinking, okay, where are the good people in the who are the artists? Where are the good filmmakers? Where are the ones that didn't sell their soul out to Satan? Where are the ones that don't have a huge dinosaur out on their patio or lizard or whatever, their lizard god in front of their house? Where are the people that are wanting to do what we're doing?
There aren't any. There aren't any. All right.
There aren't any. Send you to freaking Oregon. What the hell?
Why Nighthawk?
Oh no, I'm just trying to add comedy in. I know Steve. I know Steve has no concept of comedy or comedic relief, but still.
My snare drum. Give me a snare drum.
No,
wait, but I did it. Wah, wah, wah. Put up.
Steve, I dare you, Steve. I dare you. Tell us a joke.
Tell us a joke.
See, I think
God.
I think Steve is very.
Oh, she put me on a.
I got one in front of my face. I always got a joke in. So come on, come on. No, don't. You're not allowed to Google a joke.
No, I'm totally drawing a blank right now.
That's what happens when somebody puts you on the spot, though.
Of course. I mean,
I got one for you, Hawk. Although you've probably heard it. What do you call it when Hillary Clinton sings in a forest?
I don't know, but I bought a turtle today and gave him a spatula and called him a slow cooker. Oh, well, whatever. It's still a joke. Come on, man. Sense of humor, people. Sense of humor. You got to look at the brighter side of genocide. That's I love about that's the one thing I love about Benny Eastwood. You got to look at the brighter side of genocide.
Right. Well, there was a thing on Facebook. Now they were questioning. They go, "Do you think this is funny?" Trying to figure out like where humor is at. But it would have somebody dressed up like, a Muslim or whatever anybody would think, and then they would drop off a backpack in front of people to see what their reaction was going to be like. No, seriously.
Yeah.
And
the guy got shot.
Did you see that? No, nobody got shot. But it's like they were testing to see where like
somebody got shot.
They got shot doing that?
Yeah, they got shot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I shot him.
You don't dress up like an Arab and drop a backpack in front of some people and run away. It gets a good way to get shot.
Yeah, I shot him.
Yeah, see?
I shot the sheriff.
Nighthawk did it.
I shot the sheriff. I didn't shoot the deputy.
Well, I mean, I was afraid. I wouldn't even want to comment on it because to me, that's like a little check mark on your. If you're on Facebook saying, "Yeah, I think that's funny," well, then hey, you're going to end up on a list. I mean, almost anything that we do on social media now is being obviously being database.
Actually, Terry, you're the best thing to happen to this kind of social media because when you make a comedy out of it, they don't pay attention to you.
I know. Well, yeah, but
we pay attention to you, but nobody else does.
They do.
And that's and that is exactly why. People go, Hawk, you're like making a joke out of stuff, or you're making stuff funny, or you're just trying to this or that. We listened to your show the other day, and it was like it turned into like, oh, nobody wants to hear me, but I mean, the whole point was just to try to create a little comedy undertone. And, people ask me, I get people that ask me, why do you have all these psychics and all this stuff? Well, I need to have all these psychics and other stuff so that we look like we're crazy. So when I deliver the truth, like I'm doing right now in Oregon at great expense, they think we're all crazy and they forgot about us. Do you understand the tactic?
Yeah, exactly. I do understand the tactic. Yes.
I haven't had anybody call me crazy in a while. It's been a little while.
Well, I guess is being called crazy a compliment?
Scary crazy.
Scary
People were
crazy, dude?
scary crazy. I was more scary crazy.
Oh, okay.
they're like, I came here to beat your ass, but I decided not to because you're crazy.
Because I'm afraid I'm going to be called crazy for talking about.
Don't you know I'm loco,
Park.
man? Loco essay. I'm loco essay.
It all sounds pretty crazy if you look at it. I mean, yeah.
I know.
Call any of this crazy if they wanted to.
Well, hell, we're talking about Satanism. I mean, but it's
right.
like I said the other night.
Some people don't even think that's real. I mean, if you say people go, well,
yeah,
there's
but they
people that are
believe it
Satanists
though.
and they're reptiles.
This is the same thing I said the other night when we were on your show and Hawk was there. Is that we talk about Anunnaki or something like this. It may sound absolutely freaking crazy, but but you know what? It's like there's people that believe that stuff, and it's like I said, there's so many crazy things in this world. Reality is so much more crazier than we know. We just got to file this stuff away and take everything with a grain of salt. Because as soon as you start tossing things out, you're limited in you're limiting your own reality. You just got to assume if you could imagine it, it's probably real somewhere.
Or we could just join up with the American people that keep joining our ranks over and over and over again over the work that I'm doing right now in Oregon. And all the people are joining us now. So, we are bringing a lot of people into the station, a lot of people. I cannot even count them are coming into the station from our live streams in Oregon and all the stuff that we're putting out in Oregon. So it's really important that we don't scare the crap out of everybody that comes in to listen.
All right. Okay. All right. I respect that. Okay. But let me just say this to those people. Okay. Now, Terry, let me say this. My show. Give me the microphone.
I realize it.
Okay.
I know.
All right. This is what I have to say because I agree. We got to focus on reality, and I've been saying that to a lot of the hosts, in the last few weeks, the last month or so, I've been telling people we got to stop. We got to get away from the fluff, and we all got to kind of focus on real life because this stuff's going on right now in front of us. But at the same time, all you people out there that think what's going on, you got to learn to be an observer, and you got to learn how to not get freaked out by stuff that sounds crazy because that's what learning is. And if you went back 100 years, some of the stuff that we take for granted today, if you went back 100 years and said, oh yeah, we're going to have cell phones, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, people would think you're absolutely friggin' crazy. And this is why it's so important as a culture.
Well, of course, but you got to kind of bring them in slow.
Right. You got to give it to them by a teaspoon. You can't pour it down their throat. You got to give them a little bit by a teaspoon every day, just a little bit. And the same applies to fear. When we talk about horrible stuff and stuff that like Alex Jones seems to like pouring down on, on people, there's a place for that, but you got to give it to them in small doses. And it's important to do that because when the shit really does hit the fan, we need people to go, oh, okay, I'm prepared for that. And they're not going to lose it and go into a fetal position and start crying on the floor, because they're capable. And we want to give to people the power that, to be prepared. So when the crap does hit the fan, they can act like competent adults and protect the people around them.
But let me ask you a question, Steve.
Yes.
In quite honest humor, I played the Wake Up Rooster, which is one of the signs of our station. We play the Wake Up Rooster, and you got all mad about it and then left the show.
What about it?
Well, why did you leave the show when you heard Wake Up Rooster? It was funny.
It was funny.
You know, and Terry is a comedian, so I don't understand. Why'd you get so mad?
Shame on you for confronting me like this.
Oh, shame on me. Well, shame on you. Whatever.
Anyway, all right. I don't know what that was about, but I thought it was just kind of a distraction.
The reason I played it was just to be funny because it was the rooster.
He was
the
being,
rooster is the sign of waking up, and what we were going, wake up!
Okay. All right. Okay. In the theme of that, have you guys heard of a heavy metal group called Hatebeak? Have you heard of Hatebeak?
No, you want me to play some of it?
Do you have Hatebeak?
I don't have it, but I can probably find it.
Hatebeak is a heavy metal group, and the lead singer is an African gray parrot.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool? And they have songs like Bird Seed of Death.
Well, that's all important. You know, that's all unimportant. You know, the point we're trying to make.
Well, in the spirit of distraction, I want to talk about Hatebeak.
The spirit of a distraction. It was the spirit of the lighter side of genocide.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty genius being a parrot in your lead.
But oddly, it ran you off. So anyway, no,
some feedback here.
It's on the far side. I'm just saying. But anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Live stream from Oregon. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Good night.
I was wondering if maybe that was why I was getting some kind of feedback. Did you notice that?
Yeah, you were echoing quite a bit, especially when you're explaining the band for the name of the band. It was
that's something to do with Nighthawk being on there, but anyway, I
think maybe it was looping around a little bit. So
yeah.
When Nighthawk was talking about when we talk about things and don't scare people off kind of situation, but I can kind of understand that, and sometimes, but at the same time, I think that this is the place where I think that people are looking to hear your authentic truth or your take, or you want to hear some information that may not be mainstream. I mean, a lot of people that listen to Revolution Radio or radio networks like this, we're familiar with aliens and reptilian possibilities and time travel and esoteric knowledge, Reiki.
We're not preach the choir. But this is where, if anywhere, on this alternative media, you're going to get the least amount of that. All right. I mean, I'm on an anti-clown campaign right now, and that's unfortunate. It sounds really bad if he just wants to inject humor into this, but no, I don't have a problem with humor. Of course, obviously, I wasn't too thrilled about Vinny Eastwood making a big joke when I had the guys from Syria on the show. That didn't go over too well with me.
Well, not everything is really about humor either. I think humor can be used as a communicator tool is basically what it is.
Right.
Really,
on someone else's show, not my show. Okay. So.
Right. I mean, everybody has their own thing,
anyway,
right?
I want to get back into something more substantial here. I don't know. We kind of lost our way here.
Yeah, we did. I really liked it when we were talking about the death and the taxes and
right, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, you got a chance to tell your story. Let me see. What do we got left? We got about 30 minutes left in the show. Again, and I really want to impress upon this, and I don't know how many times I can do this, and it seems far fetched and all that, and yeah, I do agree with Nighthawk that sure, it's noble to be involved in a actual event that's taking place right now, and if we are getting huge amounts of traffic in here as a result of all this, I think certainly that's a good thing. As far as scaring people with by getting too esoteric and talking about crazy things like Anunnaki or what have you. Again, you guys, if you are listening, you have to understand that it's really a big part of the reality that's being hidden from all of us. And of course, if you know anything about me, and I'm assuming that Nighthawk's here and you're here, we're all here. When we're assuming we've got a bunch of listeners and a lot of new listeners. Sooner or later, you're going to find out that this CIA business and NSA business is right up there with all of that UFO nonsense and having to deal with aliens and all this stuff. That's a very big part of my background. I don't have to talk about it because it's not that important, but it's certainly there, right? So, in order to be empowered to really change the world like we want to do, it is important that we do have these open minds, and we are allowing ourselves to consider ideas that we would want to dismiss. And again, I'm mostly talking right now to people who may be listening, who are not, who may be new to Revolution Radio and the whole Truth Media and all that, and aren't used to hearing people talking about this sort of stuff. Obviously, because we aren't mainstream and we don't have those controls, and we do have the freedom to talk about those things. But the bad guys that are out there, the dark side, the guys that are, it's not just the humans, the Harry Reids of the world and the Donald, well, whoever, the Obamas and whoever you want to point your finger at. Ultimately, you have to accept that these people are working for Satan. And a perfect example of that, and I know I brought this up here not too long ago, I think on one of my last shows, and that is that it's very easy for us to look at Obama and say, yes, this guy is a bad guy and all that. But if you do your homework and you do your research and you go back and you find out what makes Obama tick and what he's really all about, you'll see real quick that he very publicly followed Luciferian satanic teachings, and this was something that he really didn't hide, and I think that it is a very, very major part of what makes him tick. And you have to understand that every single person involved in government today and in entertainment and in the media, anyone that's in any position to have any kind of power, control, or influence over their fellow humans is going to be indoctrinated into this big club, and they're going to sell their soul one way or the other. And of course, there's so many examples of this. If we look on TV or we look at sports or any sort of event, Grammy Awards, any kind of Hollywood type social event, you're going to see massive symbolism and what would appear to be these rituals. And of course, they're right in front of your face now. And the concept of human sacrifice is very, very strong. And, I'm on Facebook every day, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but recently there's just been a ridiculous amount of people that have gone missing, usually young ladies, 15, 20, whatever years old, or children, but huge amounts. And it's really depressing because I look at these faces and these images and I say, please help us. This person's been missing since such and such a date. And I don't even want to look at their face because half the time I'll think, well, this one's dead, or this one's, it's very often I look at these faces and I don't see life. And I know you probably know what I'm talking about, Keith. You can your intuition kind of picks up on that sort of thing.
Yeah, actually, I can see it all, and it's very hard to look at.
You want to say something. It's like when someone's missing a relative or a child or a cousin or something like this. Please help us find so and so.
Yeah, they're harvesting the vital energies in a number of different ways of the young people.
Well, it seems to me that they're trying to prepare for this big war, a big battle, and this sacrifice is critical or crucial to them for their success of their endeavor. And it just seems like they're going over the top right now with these ritual sacrifices and disappearances. You think that's what's going on?
I think that's a possibility. Yes, I agree with you.
Well, seems to be going over the top.
Well, they're also harvesting physical hormones and stuff like that. That's why these guys live so damn long,
Uh-huh.
But then they're also harvesting the vital energy with their ritual sacrifices and such.
Well, as I've said, and again, this is probably scary crap to the people who are uninitiated if you're a first-time listener to the channel, but the higher density entities of the service to self nature, the dark guys, the demon types, the bad aliens, they are 50% spiritual and 50% physical, so their nutrition is going to be 50% physical and 50% spiritual. So yeah, that's where the energy is. And as far as the biological product, there is blood product that's being harvested also. So the torture that's involved in extracting these fluids is also providing that loosh that they require in energy. And it's like I was telling you, Terry, that you're going to find yourself in a room full of reptoids like that. The only way to really defend yourself is by projecting love at them. Obviously, fear. If you're in there and you're in panic mode and fear, then you're creating loosh. All right, we have a caller, 831. Who's this? Judith.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to take my call. This is Judith. Hi, Jude Rogers. I go by Judith, too. I was just wanting to call. Am I on the air yet, or?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Am I? I just wondered. I'm worried about Terry. I mean, I don't know why you had her. I don't know why you wanted her to say the name of the guy, because he's the one that named her American Hemptress, right, Terry, Hollywood Hemptress. And I'm just concerned about you, and I hope you have a prayer team.
Oh, I appreciate that. You know what? Here's the thing. I really think that there's probably who's listening, right? I mean, I'm not saying that who's listening, but who would know that I would be on his show talking about what, kind of thing. I mean, yeah, they could do it. I mean, what they probably will do to me is they're going to make fun of me. Is what I think would probably happen. They would try to make me seem like I'm a kook. Would be the first hit. That's the thing I'm mostly the thing that I'm concerned about is that I'll lose some friends and whatever. I don't. I mean, honestly, 2 days ago, I wasn't. There was a moment where I wasn't sure if I was going to walk out of there alive. I'm not going to lie.
I did think I was listening,
but I did still. And because of that, I don't know how to explain why that might be. I think whatever it is, it's good. And there's kind of the thing I have to do is pull my own energy back into myself. I got to feel my own lightness or the where I'm connected to, and remember, and they don't have to realize that they're not more powerful than I am. So it's sort of getting acclimated to realizing that we're not on just a physical playing field, and for me to wake up and start using that other muscle of myself, because I know where I'm at. I know there is still I'm okay. They just wanted they wanted to. I'm also thinking too that maybe they just wanted to show themselves to me. And that maybe if I am also accepting back, like maybe I should probably not name any more names. I shouldn't, say certain things or whatever, but and keep people's anonymity. but at the same time, just to, like Stephen said, put love at them rather than because they're people that I have had I know them, I've cared about them, I've been close to them, I've been friends. So it puts it in a very precarious situation. And maybe what's happening is that the veil is getting thinner. Like, we are beginning to realize that people are hybrids. We're all a little bit different, and to realize that we are existing on this planet, and everybody can make a choice at any moment and raise their vibration to love. And just keep that, not to like say, oh, I trust you, like you might, because they also might chop your head off and eat you.
You're going to walk away from every single one of those people. That's what I've been telling you from day one. There's nothing that they can offer you. And now that you're in the alternative media, the truth movement, they want in. That's all history. That's all. Yeah. That's behind you. You're not going to look back.
They try to shake hands, but
you're not going to look back, because you know that every single one of them is dirty. They're all still stuck on their little service to self, narcissistic me thing, and they're in a whole nother world, and they're not on this. They're not part of this, And you're on your own path. You're doing your own thing. There's nothing that they have that you need.
Right.
Because everything that you're doing now is what you need to continue doing, and you need to just turn your back on all of them and focus in the front of you, and forget about those people.
But do you guys want to know what I think about, weren't you invited to that party by that guy that you went to dinner with or something? Or how was the invitation given to you? Was it at the last minute, or were you given a formal? Was it a surprise when you got it, Terry?
Well, it was my friend's birthday party. And
the one that wanted you to take the pictures.
No, well, actually, that was another friend that wanted me. For some reason, that was her lure of getting me back in, was that I had the responsibility to take the pictures because her camera wasn't working, and I had to photograph the cake. I hagged around with her for probably 30 minutes before I would go back into the house. Seriously, that's how, and she knew exactly why I didn't want to go in. There wasn't like, oh, what's wrong, Terry? She knew what I was talking about. She even admitted it.
Well, what was it? Were there entities in there, like just a lot of entities in there, that you couldn't see that maybe other people could? Because, Sarah Adams has said when she's tripping or something like that, if she's on certain drugs, and she's been able to go places and see that people are actually
she's
reptiles.
One of them. Sarah Adams is one of them.
Well, we all have a little bit in us.
No, you don't start talking about reptiles on here. Sarah Adams is a Luciferian. She's a Luciferian. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Stephen. I didn't know you didn't understand.
Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Wow. Jude. Okay. Well, nice talk. Wow.
You weren't quick enough, Keith. Thank you. Anyway, don't start talking about Luciferians on my show and start referencing what Luciferians. Sarah Adams is a Luciferian. Max, what's his face? Her guy is a Luciferian. Okay, I don't want to hear anything about what Luciferians have to say about Luciferism. They're the enemy. That's exactly a room. You had a room full of Luciferians that you walked into, and don't come on this show and start talking about experiences of Luciferians dealing with other Luciferians. I don't want to hear about it. They can all go to hell. Anyway. Jeez, Sarah Adams. I have no time for Luciferians. You're not going to convince me that Lucifer... It's like that damn show on Fox TV now, Lucifer. Oh, my God. They don't even try to hide it anymore. It's so in your face. If you people don't see that this world is in a war right now, dark against light, Satan against everything that's good, that's what we're at right now. That's what this is. I'm not doing this because I'm anti-Obama or I'm anti-liberal or I'm anti-whatever. I'm anti-Satan. This is what I do this for. If you're a Luciferian, you are my enemy. You're the bad guy, and I don't care if you're 51% Luciferian and 49% sweet person. You're not going to get anywhere. Huh. I'm surprised we didn't get shut down. Skype is starting to screw with me now. La, la, la. can't remember what I had the issue with Jude over in the past. I think it was something similar.
It would be nice if we had something really like that was the total opposite of where's the party with all the good angels in it? It's like
It's right here.
I'll take a picture of that cake anytime. Well,
Someplace
I know.
with animals, lots of happy animals. Were there any happy animals in that building, in that party that you went to?
No.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No kitty cats, no dogs, no birds, no fish, no happy animals. Just reptile statues.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And a bull, like the bullhorn.
Oh, great.
Yeah. The horns. There's a couple horn things going on, there.
Are they the horns like you might see in Hebrew rituals type of thing?
It wasn't full on Baphomet horn.
No. You know what I'm talking about? There's a horn.
Yeah. It was kind of like that.
There's a name for it, a Hoshana or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe. I just noticed it. They just jolted out of my head. Especially when he said, right when the guy said, "Oh, this is about Aleister Crowley," and I looked up and I saw the horns, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
All right. Well, all right. The thing is, and I've been telling you this now, you personally, for a long,
right.
Because of your past, you got so many of these bastards in your past. And they're still stuck in that, and that whole business has come from that. But that's for you. It's very, very similar to what I've went through.
When I was in it, I didn't see it.
I know you didn't see it, but it was like it was like when I was dealing with the CIA guys and the gun world and the law enforcement and all that dark energy. I didn't see it either. I was part of that, but there's no way I can go back to it. Right?
No, you can't go back. No.
It's like that guy that called me up and wants me to work on his gun. Right? I don't even want to touch it. I'm afraid to even touch it. But
I love parties. I love to go to a really good party. That was a horrific party to attend.
It was.
I did not have a good time.
Unfortunately, it's a dark party, right? God.
I love going to parties. I love dancing, love laughing, and love having
I should have sent you in there with some holy water or something. You go in there and splash everybody with holy water.
I did need some holy water. I did.
What happens?
I was like drained. It took me 2 days to recover.
Well, anyway, the bottom line, and this is so important, and this theme, this message is something that has been reoccurring now for several shows now at least, and that is it. You're all responsible. All of you out there are listening are responsible. It's incumbent upon you to use your filters, and you've got to understand what this really is. And this, the dark side, it's Satan. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's what it is. And you have to be able to see that, and you have to be able to reject it. And you have to be uncompromising in rejecting it. And when you look around and you start actually applying this filter, you're going to see that you're going to be doing a lot of rejecting.
Yeah.
Talking about friends and family. I mean, you obviously, your friends it was just almost 100%.
Right. Shocking.
Yeah, almost. I mean, you got
I was
got
shocked.
Good friends. I mean, seriously, I know you've got good friends who are not like that,
right.
Leslie, but you've got you just have to walk away from every single damn one of them, even your old boyfriend or whatever his name was.
Right. Don't say his name. Don't say his name.
Yeah, whatever. Screw that.
Yeah. No.
But
he came out and told me he was reptilian.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Well, they all want to be, but right.
Well, I think well,
they all embrace it. They all love that stuff, and don't think that there's anybody in mainstream media that has any degree of success whatsoever that has not embraced this stuff. And you look at anybody out there that is coveting it and desiring it and just wants it so bad, they're going to jump at the opportunity to embrace the dark side just to get that power. So there's no way you can do this without having done that. So people, you got to reject it. And, Sarah Adams, people like that. You see somebody start talking stuff that is obviously Luciferian, call them out. Just call them out. They're, my God. There can be no tolerance whatsoever. Right now, there can be absolutely no tolerance. we don't have to hate those people. I mean, certainly we can offer them love, but you got to ignore them. You really do. And if they're in the media, like you talk about alternative media and how important this is and whatnot. And yeah, we have, like Nighthawk said, we have a lot of psychics and fluffies and people that go in all kinds of different directions. Not all of us are cutting edge, with the hardcore, truth and all that. But we're still doing an important job, and I think that that those of you out there that are listening, if the host or the source that you're tuned into is not it's not saying the things that talking about the subjects that they need to be talking about, you either go look for a different program and listen to, or you contact those people and let them know what's up. Why aren't you wasting my time talking about this stuff when there's these important things going on that we really should be talking about? So again, in Buddhism, or Falun Gong, it's all about truth, compassion, and forbearance. And I believe forbearance means that we are all responsible not to be ignorant. We are responsible to go out there and make the effort to do our homework and to learn about these things that we don't know, that we need to learn about, that may be unpleasant. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Enlightenment requires learning about the stuff that you don't want to know about. So if you got somebody coming along and telling you don't give energy to that because you're manifesting something evil when you should be, just because you're talking about it when you shouldn't be, that's nonsense. You need to talk about it. You need to shine as much light on the dark things as possible, and that's what we're doing here on Revolution Radio. Of the Stephen D. Kelly Show. And this is the Stephen D. Kelly Show on Revolution Radio. www.freedomslips.com. Studio A. Aren't you glad I'm not sitting here saying, I am the most dangerous man on either side of the Pacific? And I'm sorry. I had to do that.
You're very... Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And I'm all about naming names. What are they? And thank you that you said that. They have no power. Okay.
They have no power. That's what I learned, I think, over the weekend. Reflection. Thing, right? I went, they don't have power. I looked, I go, him. Yeah. I'm afraid of him. That guy's a punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Really? They're going to get fear. They're going to.
Right.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing going on.
So the best way to deal with it is just don't even go there.
Right.
Don't go there. It's like they invited you. It's like Dracula, right? Dracula's you got to invite them into your home, Don't go into their home. Don't invite them into your home.
Yeah, yeah. Dracula, I'm busy.
I don't have time for your nonsense. Yeah.
I have to do a show, Dracula. I can't come over.
Sorry, Dracula, you can't come in. I don't have any loose for you tonight.
Yeah, but they were, it's, it was definitely, it was an eye-opener. I think that's the way to look at it. There was something that someone did say, and it bothered me for a while too. She said, humans are monsters, is what she said. They kill their own young. And so what is the point of when we say we're saving the humanities, or humanity is so great, they're not. Being human was not something that was considered better than any other thing. Whatever.
I don't know about that. That's a pretty negative outlook. It
was really negative. It tripped me out. It tripped me out for a moment.
That's not service to others at all, is it?
No, and I do think that the human being has the capacity to be that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think you're in any kind of danger. I don't care what that Messina guy, I don't think he has any power. I mean, my God, we talk about CIA and NSA and Kraft.
He's pretty retired. I mean, as far as I know, that particular, man, I think he's been there, done that. He was basically
Satanist. What are they gonna do? They're gonna voodoo hex.
I mean, in terms of being in the entertainment industry per se.
Well, you're gone. That's over, right?
Yeah.
Forget that. You're not going to go back and sell.
I'm not going back. If someone wanted to invite me there, it was so hurt. I mean, just the even thought of it is just no.
I know. But again, the only reason even thinking about it is just because we're poor, right? Which is a great segue for me to remind everybody that we don't get paid, and if you want to help us out, right? Here's my.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on. I'm still trying to get $20.
Okay.
Okay. Like it's going to happen. I'm going to try that.
StephenKelly714@gmail.com.
Yeah.
STEVENKelley714@gmail.com.
Like that's going to happen. Well, you never know. It's like, I don't know, maybe. Okay, I'll tell you what. The other day, somebody sent me some money from. Well, I got some money from Joan in Australia, and then a guy in Canada sent me some money. I got to tell you something. $30 Canadian is $20 American, and $30 Australian comes out to $20 American. That's some exchange, huh?
It is, but I do want to say something about. You said it's we don't need the money, or it's not about the money.
Well,
but what I was thinking about was when you can cross over as an entertainer to the mainstream still, like for example, doing something like American Hemptress or doing because the idea of two women doing a show, you can reach people on you can get more information out. We could, what we're doing right now could be seen more like David Bowie had a huge influence on people in many different ways because he was able to be in that medium.
But let me stop you right now. Okay, first of all, when David Bowie was out, we were buying our records on vinyl. Okay, now. Then along came MTV. Remember MTV when they played music?
I do remember MTV.
Okay. Right.
Early MTV.
Is that I don't want anybody to turn on the TV for anything. Okay? Do not turn on the TV because it's going to screw your brain. I had a TV on today. Somebody was watching the TV, and you could tell just by the sound coming out of it that they are screwing with the sound. Just to screw with you there. So that is a medium that's definitely screwing with our brains. If you can avoid it, do not use the TV. So as far as mainstream media is concerned, again, reject it. We're it. They're dead. We're it. They want us. We don't want them. Now, again, the money, sure, we'd like to have the money and we'd like to have that mainstream media money, but it's like they take it from people and look at what they do to take that money from people. And it's like, this is a whole different world that we're developing here. So,
well, maybe it's the
what we need is for people to be angels and just help us out and kick us down without us having to coerce it out of you. That's what we really need. That is the only pure way that we're going to do this, is that people just, they feel like giving it to us because they feel like that's what they want to do, not because we've tricked them into buying some snake oil, or we said, if you want to hear what we have to say, you have to pay us, And if they don't want to send it to us, then maybe we're not convincing them what good enough. But I'm just saying that I know you want to do things, and I'm going to tell you I'm blue in the face to give it up and keep doing what you're doing. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to encourage people to understand that yes, we all are living. Keith is living in poverty. I live in poverty. Terry lives in poverty. All of us are. And if we weren't, then I would say suspect us of having sold out. That's just the way it is. If you're not struggling, then you're doing something wrong, and you're not there. You're not one of us. So that's just the way it is. And if you've got that $1 million house, and people are going to defend it, God bless you for being that lucky. But again, you got to be service to others. 51% service to others. Try to. My God, look at these guys that won the Powerball. $1 billion, 1.5 billion, 1.6, whatever. Could you imagine if they were listening to us right now and they wanted to kick down just a little bit to help out the station or help us with what we're doing? Could you imagine?
Well, that would be really nice. But did you hear what he said he was going to do with it?
Give it to what? Random people?
He was going to get the newest Wu-Tang release and then buy a yacht.
All right, everybody. That is the end of the show. Thank you for listening. Again, this is the Stephen D. Kelly Show on Revolution Radio, www.freedomslips.com. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. Adios. Goodbye. God bless.